Good morning, everybody. Enter the stars. And there are a few places that you can go to find the ultimate truths of this reality. But today you are in the right place because we dig deep and we make sense of the things around us on the base level. And we begin to understand the matrix of our reality. This is the temple of BAAL, and you guys have asked me to look at why they are reconstructing this temple in New York and London. And I found some groundbreaking discoveries just this morning in God's time as to what all this means. Now, BAAL is BAAL. It is the BAAL mythology. What is the BAAL? The BAAL is the sine wave. It is the circle. It is the path that creates time going up and down. This is the serpent. It is also the bell curve. The bell curve being this sine wave. The sine is the sin that we were brought into, locking us in this dimension of time where we are born, grow old, and die. This is the narrow gate. This is the hyaloid canal, the straight path. This is what God has been trying to show us, that if only we keep our eyes fixed on heaven, we can take the narrow gate or the hyaloid canal, demonstrated here in the inner eye earth model. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because these truths have become self-evident by our examination of the anatomy within. And the hope is that you understand the answers were given within all along. And that is the most exciting part about these truths that we have uncovered, is that this is the ultimate faith. This is the answer. Jesus Christ inside at the pineal position, the antenna to his love, not on your own. You cannot get there by yourself. He has to be in the middle. He is the one that you have to get through to get to the Father. In the back of the brain, in the arbor vitae, the cerebellum, at the back and the base of the brain, the arbor vitae, which means tree of life. But in order to get there, you have to pass through the center, which is Christ. Now, what I found was simply amazing. They are going to erect a reconstruction of the BAAL temple in New York and London. So what did Enter the Stars do? Enter the Stars looked up the distance and the degree heading between Times Square and Leicester Square in London, and it came out to 288 degrees. Not 287, not 286, 288 degrees. And this is time, locked in time, the 2 8s, which is what they're trying to do to us. 288 degrees from Leicester Square to Times Square, all the way across the world, reinforcing their BAAL mythology. This is Leicester Square, the other location of where the BAAL temple will be located. And you simply cannot make this 288 degrees. Now, if this was the only instance defined and located the 88 phenomenon, there would be no story here. But in fact, there is a story, and that is because all of this was done by design. This is the alignment, and as you can see, this is Leicester Square, pointing outward all the way across the pond, they call it. And I believe they call it a pond for a reason, because we never left England. We never left England. Now, this location is shrouded in trees, and it will be interesting to see where they place this Baal temple. Now, Snopes.com has blown this off as some kind of simple archaeological significance rather than a religious significance, as if that explains away all of the different times in the Bible where the word Baal is brought up, of false god being worshipped, and Baal being the location of many sites. Baal Zebub, Baal Shalisha, and so on and so on. And every time the Israelites began to worship this Baal figure alongside Ashtarte, which is Astarte, Ashtaroth. And here is the truth. Baals and Asherah mentioned together several times in the Old Testament. The Israelites worshiping these entities over and over again and being punished for it. Baal Zephon, Baal of Peor, the Baals mentioned in the plural form alongside the Asherahs. And let me tell you what that means. The Baal and the Asherah mentioned together as the dynamic duo of death. The Baal and the Ashtaroths over and over again in the Old Testament mentioned as an evil pair of worship. And now we know the truth, because the Asheroth, as outlined here, is Astarte. This is the ancient Middle Eastern goddess Ishtar, Easter. And now you know why they are establishing these Baal temples during Nisan 14, which is when the Christ Passover is. So this is all about religious significance. It's all about it. But yet they deny it in plain sight. And I'm not even to the good part yet. This is Ishtar, Ashtaroth, worshipped in the Old Testament. And this goes on because this goes back to ancient Egypt. Everything that we've been telling you guys. But no one will wake up. Connected with fertility, sexuality, and war. Everything that America represents at this point. And this goes on. Because they link all this back in. Look at this picture here. This is Astarte, mentioned in the Old Testament. Worshipped in Syria and Canaan. Baal worship. I don't know how much simpler I can put this, you guys, to understand this. In the Baal epic of Ugarit, the consort of the god El plays a role. She is clearly distinguished from Astarte in Ugaritic documents. But they are shown as a duo in the Bible. Here she is in Egypt during the 18th dynasty. We told you guys all about Easter and the true roots of Easter, and it related to Ishtar. But yet people continue on and deny what is in front of their eyes. In a contrast between Horus and Set, these two goddesses appear as daughters of Ra, the sun god, and given in marriage to the god Set. So this goes all the way back to ancient Egypt. Osiris, and everything we've been talking about on this channel, you guys. This is your reality now. It gets more bizarre because this line you're looking at is the line that connects Times Square to Leicester Square, all the way across the ocean. Now I want you to look at where the real Temple of Baal is, right here, and look at how it lines up to the points between Leicester Square and Times Square. And look what happens when you extend the line from the Temple of Baal to Leicester Square and then to Times Square. Watch the alignment. It goes right next to Leicester Square. It's not exact, but this line between Leicester Square and Times Square is a general alignment, is what we call this. In other words, it is so close. Leicester Square in the middle, the Baal Temple on the other end point, and Times Square on the other end, that the intention of the alignment and where these temples will be placed are undeniable. Now we're going to watch on this channel for the 1,000 locations of where these arches will go. And in protest of the worship of false gods, we will document every single one of those 1,000 arches on this globe. And we will show all of the evil alignments that the elite are trying to force down our throats. And this view right here says it all. Times Square, Leicester Square, and the Baal Temple, the ancient Baal Temple in Syria. Take care and be safe, you guys.